right, so welcome back to my channel. And if you listen to this on the podcast, welcome back to the podcast. I really appreciate all of you who have been with me throughout the year and even prior to that. And if you're new, welcome to the new vibes, the new energy. I am Tierra, the spiritual Valkyrie with Queens with Lit Dreams. I am a psychic transformation specialist, a professional numerologist, dream interpreter, and psychic medium. So, uh, thank you again for being here. We're going to hop right on in for this 2025 numerology forecast and energetic read. Okay, so before we dive in, I want to share with you some great news. Though this is the yearly energy read in the forecast that I'm recording at this moment, I want you to all to know that you can get all of your information for each month of this year by getting my calendar, which is the Essence of Benevolence. The Essence of Benevolence wall calendar for 2025. This is your numerology guide to success. It is literally a wall calendar that I created. I've literally spent months working on this and giving detailed forecast for each month. Okay, it is going to help you navigate the energy for each month, because again, we're going through each month and we don't even know what we're walking into sometime. And I don't know about y'all, but I like to know what I'm walking into, or at least getting a glimpse of how things can be, so that I can attract more of this benevolence energy in my life. In hindsight, when things seem crazy around the world, at least I know how to center myself and know what the energy is. And so, yeah, so this is the Essence of Benevolence wall calendar. It comes in two sizes, and matte and glossy, and you can check that out in the link in the description below. So again, check it out. You're not going to want to miss this one. This is this volume 2. I did the last one here, which is the Essence of Abundance calendar, and that was such a hit, and it was so amazing. The forecasts were spot on. So if you're looking to dive into the Universal 9-year, go ahead and get this calendar. Okay, so that's that. But let's hop in. I'm gonna be real with y'all around this. I had started tapping into 2025's energy back in September. And I started doing it back in September, and I was really trying to like tap in, see how things were feeling. And it was very difficult. I'm gonna say it was very difficult because timelines are not set in stone. Things were not set in stone. Things were not, already, figured out. In energetically, it wasn't already figured out. And so I found myself really having a hard time trying to tap into the energy for each month and the overall energy of the year, simply because I couldn't really get what was happening. And this was the first time, probably one of the first times I've experienced this, when I've done a forecast, a year ahead forecast, where I actually struggled to tap and channel into the energy of that year. And that said a lot to me. Okay, but I was able to do it. And so I have a few things that I want to share with y'all for this year coming up in 2025. Okay, so let's talk about the numerology. If you don't know about anything about the numerology, numerology is working with the energy of the numbers. And numbers is energy. Letters is energy, because there's always a number connected to letters. So that's why it's important to know what the yearly collective energy is. You need to know your personal energy. You need to know these aspects of how you're going to navigate for moving forward in the future. You can understand your past. You can understand your present. And numerology provides a good blueprint for who you are, where you're going, how you want to work there, what your struggles are, what your strengths are, et cetera, et cetera. So to talk about the numerology of 2025, we're going to have to circle back to 2017. Okay. I'm saying this because we go through 9-year cycles. Okay, 9-year cycles, which means we're coming up on 2025, which is 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 5 equals 9. And when you're looking at the universal energy of the 9 universal year, you have to take in consideration what 2 is, what 0 is, what 2 is, and what 5 is, and the energy that each number has and how it influences each other, and also how it influences the overall sum of it, which is 9. Okay, 9-year cycle. That means we are at the last year of this cycle, which means we started in 2017. Now, I do want to say that if you take the time to review what happened in this 9-year cycle. What did you start? What did you end? The projects you started, the people you've met. So much in life has changed since 2017. And it's a lot to think about when you think of like, okay, 2017 was the universal 1 year. That was the beginning of this new cycle, and it was pivoting into what we have come to today. So pay attention to like the review aspect of, oh, how far have I come since 2017? What have I done? What have I been? Where have I been? Who have I met? How has the world changed? How has technology changed? So much has happened in that time, and it's a good time to review it. So take some time and just think like, okay, a lot has happened, and pat yourself on the back. You probably have come through. If you're here today, you've made it through some trials and tribulations. So congratulations on that. However, let's talk about this 9 energy. 9 is the number of humanitarianism, the number of compassion and gifting. It is also a number of war and anger and seeing the bigger picture of things. It is a number that is one of the most powerful numbers on the mental plane as well too, but it's about ambition, idealism, responsibility. It has all of these ideals that fall into the same space as looking at the bigger picture. Okay, so there's always a positive and always a negative to each number, and it's just energy. So if you're vibrating at a higher frequency, you're going to be experiencing the higher positive aspects of that number. If you're vibrating at a lower frequency, you're going to be experiencing the negative aspects of that number. And so you want to be sure to really make sure you pay attention to where your personal energy is, so that you don't get swept up in the collective energy, in the collective wave, whether it's good or bad. You know what I'm saying? So when I did some channeling, for this this 2025, I did the channeling for that, and I was like, what is it that I need you to know? What is it that needs to come through for you? And there was a few themes that came up. It was one, completion, because 9 is the end of the cycle. It's completion. It's releasing. It's, we're starting to wrap up some of the things that we have started in that 9-year cycle. So think about it again from 2017. What have you started to wrap up? And then when you think about it, completion and endings and beginnings. So you may start some new things, but this is the time where you want to collectively start thinking about what it is that you need to wrap up. Wrap it up. Okay, so think about what you need to wrap up. Think about what it is that you kind of been holding on to. What do you need to do to forgive? Because 9 is a number of forgiveness. It's a number of compassion. It's a number where it's going to bring things to the surface and reflect back to you what it is that you haven't done in this whole 9-year cycle. Or it's like, hey, you've been holding on to this for a while. It's time for you to let it go. It's time for you to figure it out, And so one of the reasons why it was so hard for me to get this energy was because I kept getting glimpses of like the struggles that was going to be coming. So I will tap into it a little bit. We're going to have to be very financially disciplined this year. Be financially disciplined. Financial discipline, self-discipline, and having your goal and vision in front of you is so important because you really don't want to get lost in the sauce of things. That means with social media, that means with politics, that means with war, that means with family drama. There's a lot of things that's coming up, and so one of those themes that are coming up is like financial discipline, self-discipline, and overall taking care of yourself. And how you take care of yourself in this sense is, I'm gonna be honest, you are going to take care of, you need to take care of your health. Health is a major theme this year, and I think it's because of the energetic field of, how do I say this? It's more so like an access point. Access points in your auric field and energetic community are going to be more to the surface now. Like, you're going to start seeing a lot more of like where are the easy access points. And when I mean by access points, I mean that like energetically you can be, people can access your energy. And you'll see it all the time when you go places, you watch things on social media, you have conversations with people, and then your energy can be drained, your energy can be depleted, and it's because something has accessed your access point in your energy field, your auric field. And so I'm saying this because a lot of people's health is going to be impacted. So pay attention to your health, pay attention to what's showing up, and like you're going to start seeing so many different things that are going to kind of come to the surface around health particularly. That means it can be from social media and politics and things that were showing up from I'm getting more so 2020, because things have not been the same since then, but people just have to really pay attention to your health. There could be another health crisis of some sort, or a financial crisis, but from when I really tapped into it, I really was like, okay, I'm getting very financial crisis. But again, health and money go hand in hand at the same time. People who got more money got more access to resources, and that's where a lot of people are having issues with, so pay attention to how this is going to show up for you personally. Pay attention to the relationships with your family, your parents, particularly if they're still around. If they're not around still, connect with them energetically, talk to them still. They're still around. Like there's a particular connection for those who this apply to. Particular connection with parents, particular connection with family, and the lineage, the ancestral lineage and beliefs and conditions that you're holding on to, and how that's affecting your health. There's a need for us to really prepare for looking at things a lot differently. This is not only a year where we're wrapping things up and we're trying to figure out like what new things we're trying to start, but we're going to have to break down some of the conditioning, the true heavy conditioning on a soul level that we've been carrying and how we've been witnessing our world, because it's breaking us down in a way that we're going to be looking at ourselves in the sense of, I cannot believe I held on to this so long. And so I would say the theme overall for this is like really incorporating more benevolence in your life, because you're going to have to extend more compassion to yourself particularly, but to a lot of other people who look different and who are different from you. And that's because the conditioning that we've had in our lives and the things that we were taught, we're realizing that we're not really living up to that reality doesn't exist. And so when you have that, it's like, who am I without these conditions? Who am I without these lessons that I've been taught? Who am I without this social media? Who am I without my friends? Who am I without my family? Who am I without someone telling me who I am? You get what I'm saying? So it's not something easy that everybody's going to be able to go through, but it's going to be something that people are going to have to go through in order to move into this next cycle of life. So with that being said, learn that your role that you're playing right now is going to change. it is going to change. How have you changed the world since 2017? How have you impacted your community? How have you impacted your life? And what's been impacting your life? How have you impacted the people in your life? And how do you want to move forward from there? So what is it that you're needing to release? What is something that you need to start wrapping up and start getting going? And then really tap into how that's going to look for you each month. Now, I'm going to tell you one thing. April, May of next year, lots of energy happening, lots of things starting to pick up. Definitely things happening August and October. And when I say these things, when I'm mentioning these months, I'm really more so talking about just how activating the energy is and how potent it is. If you want to know more about exactly what each month looks like, go ahead and get that calendar. But let's see. I have April, May, August. Honestly, there's a lot of things happening throughout the year, but August, October, November. I'm going to say this. Healers of the world, healers of the world and healers in your community, you're going to need to step up this time around. There's a lot of us who are thinking about kind of going back into like slowing down to speed up, or to go back to the basics to bring people up. Do not be impatient with that. Do not be frustrated with needing to go back to your original and going back to the basics and going back to 2017 when you first started and looking at like what worked, what didn't work, what happened. Like, do not be afraid to show up in the world differently, because what I am seeing for this year is we're going to need a lot of our healers to come show up in our communities, because a lot of people are going to be needing that special healing. I don't care if you do body work, I don't care if you knit, I don't care if you do tarot, I don't care if you are a theta healer, if you are a Reiki practitioner. I don't care what it is that you do. It's time for us to actually show up in your community, and it's enough of us out here to actually heal and really work with each other, not only just each other, but to heal and work with our communities and help each other out. This is a time where we have to find the hidden gem. That was I got that channeled message back in September when I first started talking about this energy and looking at the energy. The big thing was that we have to find the hidden gems. The gems that are in the world. And just imagine, there are diamonds, there are gems, there are stones, crystals, whatever, and they're placed all out through the world, and we have to find them, because that is what gives us power. That's what's going to show us the next step. That's what's going to be our North Star. That's what's going to give us our next ability, our next gift, and we're going to be having to pass it along to other people. So what it is that you want to do in this world, you're going to have to find that hidden gem within yourself, and redefine who you want to be, who you are trying to show up as in the world, and how you're going to start doing it. So I know this is like a bunch of messages at once, but it's just like, that's just the feel of it. It's the feel, and it's something that I really think is going to be super important for all of us. Take care of your health. Take care of each other. Take care of your family. But also just know, like, there's a lot of things that are going to take place. You're going to start seeing, and I let me take a moment. I've seen it coming, and it's starting to fester a lot more. So what I see happening is, when it comes to celebrity culture, February is going to be around that time where like celebrity culture is going to be in the forefront. Okay, celebrity culture is going to be in the forefront. You're going to start seeing that the people that we idolize, the people that we, the people that people worship, are just like, oh, this person could do no wrong in my eyes. Things are going to start changing. what you see is not what it is all the time. Everything that sparkles isn't clean. You know, everything that glitters isn't gold. And you're going to start seeing that happening in starting in February. If anything, you might start seeing it now, but like starting in February is definitely going to be some changes in like celebrity culture, Hollywood, and not even to mention, I'm be honest, a side note, it's like I've had plenty of dreams around like celebrities in the industry and Hollywood and all of these things, and I'm like, y'all don't realize the entities that people be having on them. So again, be aware of your access points in your energetic field, because you don't want people to access you that easily. So when the wave of people are going through things and you can't, like when there's a wave of everything happening, don't get swept up in it. Don't lose your stability. Don't lose your strength within your barrier, you know, and your boundaries. So just keep in mind, like, access points are going to be very important here. So yes, anyway, February, there's a lot of celebrity stuff, a lot of like things in the forefront. You're not sure what to believe. You're not sure what you're going to see. You may see stuff about aliens. You may see stuff about reptilians. You may see stuff about entities that are on celebrities and like all of these different things. And use your discernment. You know, I do feel that it is going to bring about identity crisis for people. People are not going to really know how to identify with things anymore. People are not going to really know how to relate in that sense. And so this year is going to call for you to figure out how you're going to stand on business and actually figure out who you are and who you want to become. The good thing is that you actually can determine who you want to become. Like, nobody can tell you who you are but you. No one can tell you who you're supposed to be but you. So you can decide what you want to do with that. That's the cool thing about it. And my biggest thing that I would say for 2025 is to find that hidden gem within yourself and to extend enough compassion to the world and to yourself, and give grace and peace to others, so that, and yourself, so that you're not we're not in a space of division. There will be a lot of things that are going to try to divide us this year, okay? And I will make more videos about it, but I definitely want you to know that my energy right now is like, it feels very serious, because it is very serious. There's a lot of things happening right now, but like, just know that this year is a good opportunity for us to start really paying attention to the conditioning that we've had, and then deciding if we want to continue that in the next cycle, which a lot of us are not going to want to continue. A lot of people are not going to be happy about how things have been happening. You know, we have plenty of opportunities, and I said this in previous forecasts. There was plenty of opportunities, infinite opportunities at that, to make different decisions and to really shift the timeline and the frequency of how we're operating. And those who are in power and those who are in certain levels of status decided to keep things the way that it was, because they were benefiting from it. And a lot of people are not going to like that. So there can be a lot of uprising, a lot of different aspects of civil war or internalized war with identity, and figuring out, who am I now that I don't identify with this anymore? Who am I now that I don't relate to being a part of this construct? Or who am I now that I'm like feeling like I'm not being seen and recognized and heard? Like, what are we going to do about it? And I think more people are going to start taking more action on it in 2025. So just don't be surprised if you're like not even, you know, being with the same people you've been with since 2017, you know, or before then, or you're like not in the same crowd of people, you're not identifying with the same people, you're not identifying with the same modalities, you're not identifying with the same groups, and so you're shifting and you're changing, and you're allowed to. and you're allowed to grow, you're allowed to learn. So just keep in mind that that's probably what may take place during this year, because you're not supposed to come into this year and go throughout the year and lead the same person. You're going to be a completely different person. We're going to be a completely different world. And so with that being said, there could be a lot of technology issues. There could be or technology advances. And that's what I'm saying. It could tip either way. We just got to decide how we want it to go. But technology advances or issues, financial crisis or financial awareness, I would say. And then health is a huge thing. So health crisis or health awareness, that's a big thing. And then also really looking at the bigger picture and a great awakening. We're having a great awakening spiritually. So a lot of people are going to be seeing things more. They're going to be looking for more. That's why I said we need more healers, or we need the healers to kind of step up. But a lot of people are going to be awakening to new aspects of themselves. And I mean, at this point, I'm really pretty much saying the same thing again, but I do think that my advice for people this year is to still remember that we're human. We're spiritual beings having a human experience. So even when you don't agree with people, when you disagree, when you're struggling to relate, accept what it is. Accept people for who they are, and then extend that compassion and allow them to be on their journey. Everyone is on their own journey. Do not take offense to the fact that some people are they think the way they think. And everybody has their own karma. It's not for everybody to teach everybody, what everybody thinks, So if you find yourself in spaces utilizing a lot of energy trying to teach and trying to explain yourself and explain things and argue and fight, and you got to learn the difference between when you need to do it and when you need to not do it. And you need to know when you need to take a moment to learn something, and when you need to not be in that energy. So use your discernment, but move stealthy. There's stealth movement in the wake of the collective waves. Use your discernment. That's all I'm going to say. It's very much a time where not everybody needs to know what everybody is doing. Don't take everything for don't take anything for granted, but also realize that we're moving into a new cycle, a new space, and the new beginnings of things are going to start coming up. But watch that this year is going to be ending a lot. Ending of an era. This is what it is. The ending of an era. So just pay attention to the things that are showing up. I would say I gave so many different things and so many different gems and advice and an energetic blueprint of how to navigate each month, because I know this is so important for a lot of people. So don't forget to get the Essence of Benevolence wall calendar. You can access that on my link below. And also, if you are interested in getting if you're interested in getting a personal session, a psychic transformation session, you can access that at my website, queenswithlitdreams.com, also linked down below. And I also am offering psychic transformation sessions along with your year ahead PDF. So it's a year ahead numerology read of your year in a PDF form, and I'm offering that to my my new clients and anyone who wants to get a session between now and January 31st. So if you enjoyed this, and I know it was a lot of stuff going on, but take your notes, okay? And let me know, put it in the comments. Let me know if you enjoyed this. Let me know if you want to know about your own personal year, your year number, and what that year is going to look like for 2025. And put that in the comments, put put in the chat what your personal year number is or your birthday, and we can definitely go from there. But otherwise, thank you so much for listening, and I really appreciate you being here at this point. I will make more videos. If you have questions about some of the energetic things of the year, put that in the comments. Let me know. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe, because I really, 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 really appreciate it. But other than that, I'm going to be eating my popcorn. I'm going to be sitting here watching, and I'm just going to be minding my business because I'm looking forward to actually 2025 being a very, very, very great year. So don't forget, like, share, subscribe with your people, and thanks again. Happy 2025.